he just showed up with Stephanie one day to the church, and he was wearing a cactus costume, and another friend of his was also dressed in something ridiculous, and I started shooting a video and I said, "Hey, what's your name?" He said, "Levi." I said, "Cool, you look like a Levi. Come be in this video with me." And then he got in the video, and then we just became friends. And from then on, our relationship progressed where Stephanie would bring him up to the church, and instead of bothering Stephanie, he would come and just hang out in the student ministry area.
When I was in 8th grade, I was involved in sports like track, cross country, basketball, football, soccer. And all of my coaches all saw like a leadership role in me throughout sports and stuff, so they wanted me to be doing the sports and showing other kids how, like, what to do and expand on my leadership role. And they all saw potential in me for future things. I was really close with God. Every time we had a church event, I would try and go. Wednesday nights were probably one of my favorite things because I get to see my friends. I get expand the time I get with God. Every game for sports was on a Wednesday night, and I really wanted to be involved more with church. And so I had to deal with the decision of should I go to church or not, or should I be involved more with sports.
Probably around December, whenever his mom, Stephanie Thomas, was talking to me about this kind of inner relationship that Levi was struggling with between sports and church, and knowing that he had a love for sports and was actually an above average athlete, and knowing that he had a heart to be a part of the church and be at church things, it was very easy to see the tension that was building in Levi.
So I let it rest for a while, and then eventually I went to God. I was like, "God, I don't know what to do. What should I do?" And he kept telling me through different ways, just like keep going to church, be more involved with that than sports. And eventually I had to tell my coaches, I was like, I can't do sports anymore. And having those conversations were awkward and weird, but I had them and I got out of sports. All my friends were all for me, and all my coaches were like, "What are you doing?" And so at first it was like really rocky, but over time it got a lot better. And now that I'm more involved with church, I get to be involved with worship and things like that. And so I get to learn more about God, and I don't know where I would be if I chose sports over it.
So I love having Levi as much as he's willing to give his time, because he has such an incredible energy about him, an incredible spirit of helpfulness and service, and he doesn't have to be the guy up front, even though he would love to be. He just wants to be there and be involved and continue to learn, continue to grow, and just continue to develop this love that he has for Jesus.
Now that I'm involved with church instead of sports, I have the opportunity to bring all my friends and get them more involved as well. And I have the opportunity to be doing worship almost every Sunday. And I just get to see what God's doing in other people's hearts, especially what he's been doing in mine. I get to see how it impacts others as well as it impacts me.